Worldwide hits, home of international music in Sierra Leone. It's Capital Radio, and it's the midday show. I'm Eric Kawa. We're here till 2 p.m. And we get back to our studio guest, Edward Bendu, who is the acting chief director at the Ministry of Environment in Sierra Leone. Welcome to the program again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eric.
All right, so we started off with a conversation about the mudslide, talking about the causes, some of the factors as well. And so now let's take a look at the situation. 5 years down the line, we had a guest in the studio on Friday. They organized an event there to commemorate yesterday, and he was showing me photos of another signs of flooding and the rest of it in the community, and which is also a great challenge. And in many of these areas we still see that we have mountainous places, there's still construction and massive deforestation. What has been the intervention of the ministry in terms of addressing these issues?
Yeah, thank you very much, Eric. These are very important pointers to the fact that people are still not adhering to the normal messages we send out in terms of protecting our natural resources base. Let me remind our people out there again, particularly those who are at Sugarloaf, the western end, the northern end, and the southern end. Don't forget, government, with the support of the United Nations system, UNOPS, yeah, we did our GIS mapping there, and we have the red zone and the yellow zone. The red zone, my people out there, is the most dangerous zone for anyone to live on, to have a settlement. So that red zone should still be respected. No one should definitely put him or herself on harm's way to live in that red zone. And in the yellow zone, which we believe, again, is sensitive, it's dangerous, we looked at it as more or less an offset, where you should really not reside per se. But because we have dwellings there, settlements there, we just believe that yellow zone should also be respected. You should not go into the red zone, and of course, the yellow zone, you should ensure that you take all necessary precautions not to have your houses close to boulders, to granitic rocks, and not to deforest and make the place fragile furthermore, right? Eric, I want this to go out as a message from the Ministry of the Environment. Because all of those are people who are staying on the foot slopes of those hills and those mountains along the peninsula. You have to be very, very mindful of the way and manner in which you are constructing your settlement. The physical planning people in the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Country Planning are the authority who should tell you that this area has been surveyed, and it is going to be allocated. But when our people take upon themselves to reside in these areas, I want to advise, please, not only for Sugarloaf, but all the other mountain slopes, all the other streamside valleys along the peninsula. These are very, very fragile areas.
All right, fragile
people
areas
should not have any settlements or build houses in these areas that we declare as fragile. Slopes of streamside valleys, the bottom hills, yeah? And these are areas that should not have any settlements.
All right, so these areas are very risky, they are fragile areas and very sensitive areas.
Yes.
But one may want to ask the question, I mean, why at the first place do they even allow these constructions to be undertaken rather than, some cases like it's a red zone, people are still constructing, and when there's a disaster, maybe they want to ask them to move out.
Eric, please let me remind you that before we had that mudslide on August the 14th in 2017, workers from the National Protected Area Authority were chased away from that place.
Okay.
Officers from the Environment Protection Agency who were on a regular monitoring were chased out of that place because the message that the NPA and the CTF, as well as the EPA and the Ministry of the Environment, was sending out was that that place should not be settled. Nobody should settle that. They were chased away. So if you're asking me the question, It is not us allowing people to live in sensitive places. It is like people are in this, you see, urban settlements, urban expansion is one that has its own dynamics.
So where's the
There's a
problem?
mad rush
Is it
for
that
housing.
there are laws, but maybe there's an issue to look at in the implementation area?
The enforcement arm of the ministries, the EPA, the regulatory arms of the ministries are doing their jobs. They are doing their jobs. But it's like our people really seem not to want to adhere to the laws, don't want to adhere to the regulations. Nobody in government, serious-minded somebody, will allow its people to go and reside in dangerous zones. Nobody who is serious mind.
Okay,
No minister, no officer, no director.
I think let me bring
this is the
Daniella
area
in.
where we really have to. I want to thank Tacugama, Chimpanzee Sanctuary, for this outreach program, giving us the platform to be sending out these messages to educate our people. You know, you have to ensure that you are not in harm's way for your own life. We go to enforce. And secondly, just like what we are doing in the ministry now, we are reforesting. We are doing tree planting this year. We are doing 1.6 million trees to reforest these areas that have been degraded. Last year in 2021, we planted 1.2 million trees. This year we are planting 1.6 million trees across the country, don't forget, including the western urban and the western rural. Why? Because we want to ensure that these places that are degraded, that sometimes, that are sensitive and dangerous sometimes, we want to reforest them so that the wildlife could return.
Okay.
So that the habitat for our wildlife, which gives us a semblance of having potential for ecotourism, are definitely restored.
Okay.
So this is you. I don't want you, please, you who are out there in the media, to look at government as allowing its people to be in harm's way. No.
Yeah, but someone would want to say the government has the power, so they have to do extra measures. Maybe, I don't know, that's why I wanted to bring Daniella in. She has been with Tacugama. They've been residing in those areas, and then they've been reaching out to these people. Now, there's a problem of maybe acceptance. Maybe if they go there to talk to these people, they chase them away. So what are the stories that you're hearing from the people? Why are they chasing them out? What should be done to take them out of those places, or to tell them not to even venture?
Well, most of the people living in those areas know that they're not supposed to be there. Just like Mr. Bendu has said, people are sometimes very stubborn. And, there are rangers working with Tacugama who are from the National Protected Area Authority.
Okay.
Sometimes they're often in conflict with the people living in those areas. So it's very, very difficult to get them there. So I'm sure where the problem lies is, where do the people get the mandate from to build in those areas?
But that's the question now.
Yes.
So who is giving the lands again?
Well, that's the big problem, and you cannot just go there and tell them to just live there, And let me tell you this: the main thing that we have a standing forest around the western area, Peninsula National Park, is because of the work of Tacugama. If Tacugama had not been there, trust me, a huge portion of that forest would have gone, and most of the water.
With the support of the ministry.
Definitely, the Ministry of Environment and of course the Ministry of Tourism.
Okay.
Because Tacugama does not work alone. We have partners.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is that some people are even scared to get too close because of the presence of the sanctuary. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Director. Yes, because the sanctuary is there, then some people are scared to go there. But whatever you do, people still, engage in deforestation and other things that put the environment in danger. And of course, we that are working with the outreach team, we try to reach out to people and tell them about the dangers of deforestation and environmental degradation. We tell them about the importance of protecting wildlife and the forest. We engage them in tree planting activities and a lot. So it's quite difficult to get people to leave those areas. And trust me, it's very, very bad. Some of them know that they're not supposed to be there. So we're always trying to talk to them, peacefully. But when you get there, you meet some who will say, I'm in this area because of so and so person, and you cannot use force. Tacugama is a conservation organization, not a, Yes.
Okay, so I think it all boils down to sensitization. It's about the individuals knowing. If you know a place is quite dangerous, you cannot see fire and then you place your hands there, as
Definitely,
you're saying. So I
definitely.
think it has to do with everyone trying to see that we look at what is right and what do we need to do. If you know this is a no-go area, don't go. And remember, they have the red zones, the yellow zones, and the green zones, right?
Definitely.
Yes, exactly. So
Yes,
continue to.
and yes,
Yeah.
and one thing people should take note of that
Mhm.
when catastrophe hits, it
Mhm.
is us humans who pay with our precious lives, as
Exactly.
was seen in the August 14 incident.
Exactly.
According to Mr. Bendu here, we lost over
1,500
1,500
yeah.
people, and
And
over
3,000
3,000 were left displaced.
Displaced.
So you see, these are all the
Homeless.
consequences that we face because we do not try to protect the environment
Mhm.
and do not try to reach out first for our safety.
Yeah.
Stop building houses in areas where you're not supposed to live.
Yeah, and a lot of impact with the environment. In fact, with cutting of trees, like we see in the West now, they're having this kind of very heat, what can I say, hot conditions, in
Yes.
which we experienced something in the UK the last time, and it's quite very worst. So we should take the precaution, and we continue to also sensitize through different ways,
Yes,
the media,
definitely.
of course, the ministry, Tacugama, and other
Yes.
institutions as well, and even the community people.
Mhm.
That's why I was very much impressed with the ones from that Pentagon area that organized that commemoration yesterday while sensitizing the people as well. So this is the midday show, and you're listening to a special conversation here with the Tacugama team, and we have with us today a special guest from the Ministry of Environment as the Acting Chief Director, Edward Bendu, with us here, and Daniella Samura is the is the comms officer at Tacugama Community Outreach Program. Stay tuned. It is 11:44. Let's bring you the airport and travel information, and after that we give you a song, and yeah, maybe let's just have a song, and then we'll come for the airport and travel news after this. Hughes Corporation back to 1974 with Rock the Boat.